Hi guys, and welcome to our new Riviera Partners Realty Instagram Live weekly show. Our objective is to bring to you at home the top US agents and brokers, as well as hoteliers, investors and developers, and we're going to be doing that each week here on our new Riviera Partners Realty show. We hope you're going to watch us. Hopefully it'll be interesting. We'll bring you updates, live information and stuff like that, and let you know what's going on in the markets around the country of Mexico, the US and Canada. I'm here to, our new show is called International Luxury Real Estate Experts. Follow us on Riviera Partners Realty and we'll keep you updated. I'm here today with my business partner, Wally Lopez.
Thank you, Jonathan. Happy to be here, and thanks everybody from tuning in. We're here in one of the terraces of this house, this spectacular house, which is Casa Kupuri at Kupuri Estates in beautiful Punta Mita. And as you can notice, the weather is beautiful. Of course, we're following the distancing rules during this COVID-19 situation, and we hope soon we're heading to the next new normal. That's how they call it these days, the next new normal. So looking forward to that. In the meantime, thank you again for participating with us. Back to Jonathan.
As Wally said, we're here in the terraces, a spectacular house here, Casa Kupuri here in Kupuri Estates in Punta Mita. Definitely, in our minds, the foremost residential community in Mexico today, in the Riviera Nayarit. And also, what we'll be covering with you, and our location for next week's show will be Susurros de Corazon, the Auberge branded residences, just 2 minutes from here down the street on a spectacular sandy beach as well. We're blessed to be here in paradise. As Wally said, we're following all of the protocol put in place by COVID. Our offices have been closed now since mid-March, so we're working from home and waiting for the government to give us the green light to get back to work in a good manner that's going to keep everybody safe. We have our face masks here. We've been wearing them around the house today, and we've got our social distancing. And we're here, as Wally said, on this amazing terrace. The weather's fantastic here in our paradise. There's a fresh breeze blowing, so we feel comfortable like this together. Our special guest today is Sally Forster Jones, CEO and founder of SFJ Group and Executive Director of Luxury Estates, Campus, Beverly Hills in Los Angeles. Sally has almost $7 billion of real estate transactions to her credit over the years, and working with Campus now. As you probably know, Campus has become one of the biggest real estate independent brokerage company in the US today, with the reported sales of somewhere between 88 and 89 billion US dollars last year. Congratulations to Campus and Sally and all of her partners there in Campus. It's an incredible company, and the reason that we've been doing the strategic partnerships over the last couple of years, we want to be sure that we're working with the best people and using the best platform out there to help promote what we're doing here in our paradise of Punta Mita, Susurros de Corazon, and Riviera Nayarit here in Mexico, our paradise. Welcome, Sally. Are you there, Sally? So, while Sally joins us then, we just wanted to kind of touch base. I guess we'll talk a little bit more about the house here in Kupuri Estates while Sally joins us here on the live show today. So we could kind of go through what we have here. You can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on all our social media and LinkedIn, and also on RivieraPartnersRealty.com, obviously. We've seen here, while it's been extremely quiet for the COVID situation, obviously with hotels closed and things getting very challenging and uncertain, we're definitely seeing more interest since early May when we started, sending out newsletter. The difference between April and May we saw was incrementally better with the activity and the interest that we saw coming into May. I believe Sally's joining us right now. Sally Forster Jones, CEO and founder of Executive Director of Luxury Estates, Campus, Beverly Hills, California, and a good friend of ours for many years. Sally, welcome to the show, and congratulations again for being the top broker in your area for a long time with almost $7 billion of real estate sales to your credit. Congratulations, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jonathan. It's absolutely my pleasure. Looking at the scenes there, and I wish I was there, but this is the closest I'm going to get right now.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So I'm going to pass over to Wally. We've kind of got some questions for you while we're here.
Hola, Sally, and thank you again for your time and participating with us in this Instagram live series. Pleasure having you.
Hi, Wally. A pleasure to be here with you.
Fantastic. Sally, we have prepared some questions and topics to try to understand the real estate market in different areas. Obviously, the Southern California, Beverly Hills, and Los Angeles market, it's a very important one for us, the Punta Mita, Riviera Nayarit, and Puerto Vallarta area. And we have a lot of clients in common. That's why we have done this strategic partnership with you and your company. And I'm sure a lot of the clients are tuning in and they want to know more about it and how to experience the lifestyle in the Punta Mita area. So if it's okay with you, we have prepared some questions and we'll start asking you those so you can give us your insights.
My pleasure. Go ask me.
Perfect, perfect. So tell us, how do you see the high-end luxury market in the Beverly Hills, Los Angeles area since the COVID-19 situation began?
Well, it's been interesting. Initially, the first couple of weeks, it was just, just shock. Just, froze, did nothing. But really, it has come around in the last 2 or 3 weeks now, where there's been the buyers, particularly on the luxury. And I'm going to say our luxury here is probably 10 million luxury. But the buyers who have the ability to buy are clearly ready to buy, are coming up, they're engaging, they're reaching out, they're happy to hear from me when I reach out to them. They're looking at properties, and we've actually made some sales, including a multiple offer on one of our luxury properties that we put into escrow, and we have a backup offer on it. So it suddenly has really come alive again in the last couple of weeks.
Wow, that's fantastic news. Definitely, we're kind of feeling the same right now in this month of May. There's definitely some activity picking up. Um, that's great news to hear, and also great news to hear that you have multiple offers.
Yes, no, very excited, obviously. It's requiring much more effort. Buyers are still being cautious, but they are there. I'm doing showings every day now. There was a period of time, obviously, we could not show either, but now we can. But I'm just doing showings on our luxury properties now on an everyday basis.
Fantastic. I'm gonna switch to Jonathan because we're gonna mix the questioning.
It's funny, but there's social distancing. We have to be like far apart, so we have a camera person here that's helping us out, moving back and forward with our basic equipment we have. So, as I was saying before, Sally, we've seen a real uptick in what's been happening since we sent our Riviera Partners Realty newsletter. You do the same thing every month. We saw a lot more active interest starting in May over what we saw back in April. We think that that's probably due to people starting to relax a little bit, or the perception that maybe governments and localities are starting to ease restrictions, and people are starting to think about travel again. In the case of ourselves here, with what's been going on with the COVID, obviously we follow you tremendously, and we're always following everything that you're doing and all your great posts you put and things like that, and the other people that we have our partnerships with in Compass, as you know. We've been noticing that, and we were wondering about your market. We've been noticing that there seems to be somewhat of a trend from apartment buildings to maybe single family homes, and people maybe getting out of the city areas into more suburban areas to have a little more space, garden area, maybe a pool. Do you see any of those trends happening in your area right now?
Yes, what we have is, Los Angeles and Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, Malibu, our greater area here is, it's viewed as, there's space, there's great weather also, there is, pools and just resort type living, but still in the city. So it's not your environment, but it's still much more so than places like New York City. And so we have had a lot of interest from, buyers and tenants, people looking to lease forth through the summer or for a period of time from the East Coast or other areas that are just much more dense. And
Right.
Los Angeles is really, they're looking at that as more of a safer haven with a lot of space and, just a sort of more of a feeling of summer right now. So that's what we're going into.
Yeah, it makes sense. We kind of perceived it too. Here within the gated community where we are right now in Punta Mita, there's been consistently like 300-400 people in residence, and some of the people, chose to stay here rather than going back to maybe, in the cities in the US and Canada in this time that we've been going through these challenging, uncertain times, going back to the city to an apartment building. They decided to stay here. So we kind of see that trend happening, as you said, and thanks for sharing that with us. I'll pass back to Wally, and you can see behind me our beautiful sky and the ocean.
It's actually a nice view. That's why we decided to be in this terrace. So Sally, in your experience from previous financial crises like the one in 2008, 2009, do you see any similar trends, or is just completely different this time with the COVID-19 pandemic situation?
Well, it remains to be seen yet what is going to develop. But what we have is this was very abrupt. It was one day we were in business, and the next day we were shut down. Just virtually our cities and our business. So, but what is different right now is that financially, it really wasn't a financial situation.
Yes.
Like 2008 or in the recession that we had, which was really totally financial and over leveraging and buyers, homeowners did not have any equity and were clearly, it was a very, very different financial situation. Right now here, that's not the case. We definitely have, we have a lot of tragedy and a lot of, people that have lost their jobs, but there are also people who have money and who are just have been forced to stay home because of the health issues, but who are looking to then get back out into, just go back to life as it's going to be, which is going to be a little bit different, but really just how to, how to maneuver in this situation. But financially, it's a very different picture because and we'll see what happens again, because this is
Yes.
But it's just a very different environment than it was in 2008, 2009.
Yes, that's what we think. It's a different one, no, and probably we don't have the excess of inventories that they were handling in 2008, 2009. So it might be totally different. You're right.
Right. In 2008, 2009, there were a lot of foreclosures. Right now, we're not seeing that. The property owners have a lot of equity. And so they are just, just staying, just are much more comfortable in not selling a property under duress. If they have the ability to just sit tight, many of the homeowners are doing that, and our inventory actually is quite low. So we have very little inventory on the market for sale.
That's very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. I'll go back to Jonathan.
You get the nice view of the tropical gardens, of the pool and the beach as we pass back and forward with this social distancing.
I know, it looks amazing, Jonathan, and I'm sitting here in my home, and I have art, but that's about as close as I get to, to anything that you're looking at.
Yeah, no, we're lucky. You've been here several times, thankfully, so I'm sure you'll be back as soon as we can, and it's safe to travel. We're seeing, actually, incidentally, we saw a news article out today talking about the flights coming back into our region again. We're going to post it on our feeds and on our website, but it looks like starting in June, there'll be more flights starting, more airlift again. So slowly but surely, we'll get back to some kind of normality, as we all know, and we'll see how that goes. We were wondering also, as we've seen the uptick in the interest in what we're doing here in our paradise here in Punta Mita and Riviera Nayarit and Susurros de Corazon, the Auberge branded property, we were wondering if you're seeing any increased interest on your end, as we've done these events and had this strategic partnership for a while together, on people talking about, again, maybe a second, third, fourth home, maybe probably in your area, some Palm Desert, Palm Springs, that kind of area, or hopefully for us, the Auberge property here that we're representing here and Punta Mita as well. So What do you see? Do you get a sense of people starting to look again outside of where they are?
Well, what we have right now, again, there are people who are coming to our area, and we have people who are here locally who are saying, look, I'm not going to, first of all, my home is very important. My environment is very important. That has become much more important right now with shelter at home, of where they are, what they're experiencing, and where they want to be. And travel is clearly down because we haven't been traveling. So hopefully, I can't wait till I'm able to come and share some time with you again in Punta Mita area. But so here locally, what we're seeing is, just people who live here wanting to say, look, I'm going to go and rent for the summer in Malibu or on the coast or somewhere where it's drivable. So that is what we're having. They no longer have their vacations planned for the summer where they were going to get on a plane and go somewhere. But they're not doing that now. So they want to still be able to go somewhere. And so they are looking for rental or through September on a short-term basis. And then a second home. If they have a second home, they are looking at that as a retreat also. And so that is an important factor. So I anticipate that there'll probably be more of that as opposed to just traveling, all over the world, of just looking and saying, okay, here is another safe sanctuary home where I can go and just, view that as my vacation or second home, and even possibly working from wherever that second home is, because right now we have been working at home so much, and there has been such an acceptance of that, and from just looking at how well that actually works, where you can almost work from anywhere. And so I see that more of a trend of just having additional homes.
Yeah, that makes sense, and definitely kind of, I guess, follows a trend of what we're seeing here, and a lot of the homeowners deciding to stay here through this period as well, which is kind of interesting. Thankfully, again, we've been very lucky here, as you know, in Punta Mita and Riviera Nayarit, and we have great medical facilities, thankfully, world-class medical facilities here. We also have a doctor who you know from Cedars-Sinai in Beverly Hills who came here, fell in love with it, and opened the Punta Mita Hospital here, which is a world-class facility, just like being any other top city in the world, thankfully. And thankfully for us, until now, there was only one case detected in our whole area here close to where we are, and that person was taken to a special facility, and obviously everyone else that had been in contact with them. So, we're hopeful that continues as the summer comes. As you know, our main season here for the weather is kind of, end of October into November. So definitely by then, we're hoping that we're going to have, a lot more people traveling again. And we do have that, as you've experienced, that great summer season. Like right now, the weather's still fantastic. There's a beautiful breeze blowing. The weather's still nice, even at nighttime too, to sleep with everything open, no air conditioning yet. So we have this summer season that's kind of like mid-June until early August, which we don't know how that's going to go for us here, but it seems to be that people are starting to think about, like you say, moving around a little bit once again. Let me pass back to Wally. I'll pass you by the pool again at the beach.
There we go. Okay, here we are. You're back, Sally. So hearing what we were just talking and what you were saying. So tell us, how do you perceive the recovery in your market area, and are you now seeing an increased interest? Do you feel and see it will be a slow recovery, or as some people it's been saying, it's going to be much faster this time?
Well, again, this is speculation, and I think it depends on whether there are going to be with all of the restrictions easing up, if there's going to be resurgence and how people perceive that. But as of right now, the last several weeks, particularly, there's just feels like there's pent-up demand.
Yes.
We've been at this now 10 weeks, and we're just, I think that people just are looking and saying, I want to move on, and I want to buy if I want to buy. I want to move on with my life, and are looking at that. And we'll see what happens. economically, but that is what's going on right now. There's very little inventory. We are having multiple offers at certain price points, and the buyers are there. The buyers are there. So, and there's more sellers who are now starting to put their properties on the market. So, because they're looking and saying, you know what, I need to move on with my life. And that is what's happening. So we are having both buyers who are ready to do that. There's also buyers who are looking for opportunistic sales. So so if there's a distressed situation, then there are buyers with financial means who are looking to see if they can be opportunistic and take advantage of that. So it's will remain to be seen, but right now it feels really active. Again, there's just a huge difference in the last several weeks of outreach and this is just on the lower price points as well as the luxury, and we're putting things into escrow, and we're making, buyers are buying and sellers are, at the moment, really prices have held up quite well. We will, there have been some situations where, a seller was very motivated to sell and has sold at a discount, but as a whole, prices have held up, and we'll see again, how that plays out. Still a very fluid situation, but right now there feels like a lot of.
Well, that's very encouraging, and definitely good to hear that is happening again and again. We can't no coincide with that because we're seeing that activity also down here. We've been talking with clients over the phone, and the emails start flowing again. And coincidentally, today we have a closing that it was postponed due to the COVID situation, and in an hour we're gonna sign finally the deal. So the buyers are still there, as you say, and they're definitely gonna move on with their lives. And I think so far it feels much better than probably as we discussed to the crisis of 2008, 2009. No?
Yes, no, that's how it feels. But again, very optimistic. I'm going to say cautiously optimistic.
Yes, absolutely. I'll pass to Jonathan again.
I'm back. Eventually, when we're not doing so much social distancing, we'll be closer together again. And we'll be in person. We can do this together in person on the beach. Well, thanks for your time. I mean, do you have any questions for us here with anything that's going on here?
Well, I'd love to hear more about what is happening, in Punta Mita, and particularly in, with the Auberge Resort that's being built, and the Source de Carson, which I'm involved with and excited about. So if there's want to give us an update on that, I'd love to hear.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Punta Mita is phenomenal. Obviously, it's a very mature development, as you know. The Four Seasons in St. Regis have been closed and are now planning to reopen fairly soon, we hear, without any specific date right now. But I believe they're already starting to look at taking reservations. And for that summer season I mentioned that we normally get here, Punta Mita itself, Dine, the master plan developer, and Club Punta Mita has been managing this extremely well. There's been a lot of social distancing. Everyone's wearing masks everywhere, the security guards and everything like that in the community, and also in the community outside too. There's been a lot of humanitarian aid going on. We've been doing it ourselves and contributing as the best we can, and Dine has been leading that with Peace Punta Mita Foundation, the Punta Mita Foundation, and other people in the community. As far as the amenities within Punta Mita, the beach clubs are all closed. There's no service. One of them is giving takeout service, which works really well. The beaches in Punta Mita, they're around this area are closed. The government's closed all the beaches. The tennis facility is still open, but obviously respecting social distancing. And there's one of the two Jack Nicklaus courses still open. As far as the Auberge, the Susurros de Corazon Auberge property that we're all so excited about, and you've been so involved with, and thank you for helping us with hosting the event in Beverly Hills and putting us in contact with all those friends of yours in Compass, which has just been phenomenal. Thank you so much for that. But as you know, the Susurros de Corazon is a really unique, beautiful auberge branded property here in a property right immediately adjacent to Punta Mita, in another gated community between two. It's called El Banco and Las Cabezas. Both are owned, and the investors are from the U.S., as are the owners of the auberge. The hotel itself is it's going to be open. They are still building, even though they've reduced the amount of people on the construction site due to social distancing and respecting all the protocols that have been put in place, and they want to have in place. Definitely, the hotel is going to be opening at the end of next year, 2021. We're all hoping for, obviously, the high season of 2021. So it's very much still moving forward. Next week, we're actually going to host from there. The hotel itself, answering your question, is 59 hotel suites. 23 of those are king suites, which are going to be about 600 square feet of interior space. 25 executive suites, about 750 square feet of interior space. And there'll be 11 one-bedroom suites, which will be a lot larger, and around 1,000 square feet interior space. For us in the real estate industry, as you've been helping us to, in the first phase, we have 30 branded residences. Those residences range from $1,950,000 to around $11 million. They're 3 to 6 bedrooms, 3,200 to just over 8,000 square feet of air conditioned, plus very expansive. As you know, here in our paradise, especially in those months, well, many months of the year, but especially from November through June, we spend most of our time living outside, or combination of the inside-outside living. And then in phase 2, we're going to have another 16 residential units. So we're very excited. Again, we're very excited and thankful to have this great strategic partnership with you. And we've had a long-term friendship and business relationship over the years that we've really enjoyed, back and forth and helping each other out. And you've just been so helpful to us over the years, and we follow everything that you do. And thank you again for everything you've been doing. So I think that gives you, as far as the amenities in the hotel, in the Susurros de Corazon, there'll be 3-tiered pools going all the way down to the sandy beach, which is, very large pools. There'll be, auberge is famous for their spas. So there'll be a huge spa with 11 treatment rooms and a relaxation area. There'll be a gymnasium. There'll be a weights room and a cardio room. There'll be an outside beautiful lawn area, garden area for yoga classes. Obviously, all the usual ballrooms and meeting rooms. There'll be some commercial there too, and obviously a sales office for us too when it gets open. So that's good. But yeah, we're very excited. It's going to, I think, help raise the bar in our area. We have a lot of great things going on in our area, thankfully, with a lot of great brands coming into our area that we'll be talking to in the next coming weeks, the developers of those too. And as I mentioned, next week we're going to be hosting this show from on site in Susurros de Corazon. So you'll see another beach, more sandy beach, and it'll be a nice time next week too if you can join us.
Yeah, no, I can just attest. It really is paradise. It's absolutely exquisite, stunning, and I'm just imagining myself there, just on that beach, which is absolutely amazing. So,
well, the construction's moving on, so we'll show you next week what's going on. We're going to do this show next week. And then what we're going to do is have maybe a little break. We're not quite sure how we're going to manage it yet, as we're just starting this series. And then we're going to do kind of a live tour around the construction, so people can see what you've seen when you've been here, these spectacular beaches and this amazing paradise that we're thankfully here in.
Okay. Sounds great. Sounds great.
Well, thanks, Sally. You have anything else for us?
Well, I think, just again, I wish I were there. I wish I can't wait for, everything to start opening up again so that we can really, enjoy and love to see you up here in Los Angeles as well.
We always love coming up there, and we love your area. Thank you so much. And again, everybody, this is Sally Forster Jones, CEO and founder of SFJ Group, Executive Director of Luxury Estates and Compass, Beverly Hills in Los Angeles. Follow her on her Instagram, social media. Her company is phenomenal. And Compass, as we mentioned, is the biggest independent real estate brokerage firm in the US. And Sally has $7 billion to her credit. So she's really a market leader in the whole country. And we're very thankful to have you on our show today. Thank you so much for joining us, Sally.
Oh, a pleasure. Absolutely loved it. Okay.
We'll see you soon. We'll be in touch, and we'll be.
Sally, thank you again, and pleasure having you.
Okay, thank you, Ollie.
We'll see you soon, guys. And next week we'll be coming to you live from the Susurros de Corazón of Burj branded residences, right next door here to Punta Mita in El Banco in Las Cabezas. And we'll be giving you another update and another preview and what's going on in the future. We'll see you soon. Thanks for following us. Follow us on Riviera Partners Realty, Instagram, LinkedIn, all our social media platforms, and also Facebook and our website too. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Okay.